Today on the channel, we got a little bit of Marvel vs. Capcom inspired action with Warmachine and the Proton Cannon on the way I got it figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Well, I got it figured, back with another Marvel Legends review. This time, we're looking at Iron Man retro card Warmachine, and we've got the Proton Cannon, which you could buy either separately or came with the modular Iron Man. I didn't get the Iron Man, I got the Proton Cannon at a toy show that we have called the Maryland Toy Expo back in June. And I got a good deal on it. I actually got it for 10 bucks. You know, always looking for a deal, but that's the sticker that was on there. Warmachine, I think I paid like 12 for him. But I know essentially the guy got it from like Ross or something, because the price was already like really great. But I didn't care. I wanted Warmachine. I wanted the Proton Cannon. And I didn't want the modular Iron Man Warmachine that they did. That's, you know, you could actually call it Marvel vs. Capcom Warmachine. Didn't really want that one. In all the artwork for the game, they used the standard Warmachine in the artwork, but it was the modular Iron Man. It was just a palette swap of the modular Iron Man from Marvel superheroes in the game, because, you know, they weren't going to do a whole new sprite for Warmachine. But in all the promotional artwork, this was the Warmachine. So I want to see if the Proton Cannon is going to look good with them and everything like that. And, you know, needed Warmachine roadie for the Avengers anyway. This is a more kind of animated or cartoon style Warmachine, so there you go. So looking at the package, of course, he's on the Iron Man retro card, but instead of having Iron Man there, they have Warmachine. And he's got all of his stuff there that you can put on him. Missiles and blast effects and cannons and extra hands. And then you've got the text on the back. And I can barely read it. A second here. Okay. Veteran Avenger and Air Force Colonel James Rhodes, aka Warmachine, is one of the few people Tony Stark trusts with a version of his Iron Man armor. So there you go. You could probably read it. Hope you can read it. That's what it says. And then, of course, you've got the Proton Cannon. And it does come with a blast effect and a stand. And you kind of sit it on the figure. It's not really like, you know, it's not like you're really attaching it to the figure or anything. So that's good enough for me. We're going to get these guys out and set them up, see what we can see. All right, so we've got Iron Man, rather Warmachine. It's an Iron Man suit, but they just call him Warmachine because he's not exactly Iron Man anymore. With all of his accessories and the Proton Cannon and the accessories to the Proton Cannon. So just a little bit of history on the Warmachine suit. In the 90s, you know, everything became sort of grim and gritty, and the heroes became hardened. And Warmachine was kind of a 90s sort of replacement for Iron Man in a sense. You kind of had, you know, U.S. Agent running around, and then Thunderstrike for Thor. So you had the main three Avengers. They had sort of like nouveau wave versions of those characters. But we, of course, always come back to the classics. But Warmachine pretty much stayed around the entire time. You know, kind of doing his own thing. And of course, one point the Punisher had the Warmachine suit. Punisher Warmachine. But this is Rhodey, and you know, that's the one definitely that I wanted. So looking at him, he is based off of the Iron Man body. He's got the pinned legs. His arms are pinless. That's nice to see. But it's basically a retool of the Marvel 80th anniversary Iron Man body. Obviously, when they tool these things, they sort of tool them together. But it's the guts of this is the same figure. Same hands, and they can take a repulsor blast. And of course, he's got the alternating fists. You can give him 2 fists if you want to, or 2 repulsor blast hands. And of course, I just reviewed the 20th anniversary Marvel Legends Iron Man. It's really the same basic figure. But he's looking cool. From an articulation standpoint, he's probably a little bit compromised because he's got the pauldrons. So you can, you know, you can kind of get him in a T-pose to a degree before, up until the pauldrons start to hit the weapon mounts. And your ab crunch is still pretty decent. Still pretty decent there. But just showing the articulation differences because of the rig. Nice down, decent up. But it's a good looking figure. You know, everybody liked Warmachine. And of course, Marvel vs. Capcom. We always gotta nod to that, especially with Street Fighter figures floating around. So real quick, we'll get Warmachine geared up. Add some cannons, and as I do it, and it's nice to see that these cannons, you know, you can actually articulate them on his body, which is cool because they're not just always pointing. You know, if he's sort of at rest, weapons aren't exactly trained on anybody. Like that. So we got Warmachine. The weapons in basic position. And then he's got these blast effects. And I mainly wanted, you know, a lot of the reason I wanted Warmachine was for the blast effects. I'm a blast effect guy. I like blast effects. Like, how cool is that? You probably want these to stay on. And you got your missiles. And of course, you got your missiles, and they just plug into the blast effect. I guess it might be easier to do it like this. I guess the missiles are orange for just to create some contrast. I probably would have made them black. But it does create some contrast, so that's pretty cool. Where did the last one go? peg on easy enough. I'm definitely gonna see if I could use these for like some transformers as well. And they just sort of sit on top of the launcher. And then of course you got the machine gun. And that just sits on top of the machine gun. And you got your firing war machine. You might even be able to get some of those pistol effects in here, because there are little receptacles, even though he doesn't come with them. And there was a deluxe version of Warmachine with like a more silvery tint. Maybe that one came with the extra blast effects. I know it comes with more stuff than this one, but this is sufficient for my needs. But you got, you know, Warmachine shooting some guns, and then you can put the, well, okay, maybe not. So the peg for this blast effect is like massive, so it's not gonna go inside the standard hand. But if, you know, if I had one of those handy, maybe I should have pulled it out for the video. You can stick it in there. Be armed to the teeth, Warmachine style. Yeah. Looks good. So there you have it. Warmachine by himself, shooting all of his weapons. And that's cool. Now, it's time to hook up the Proton Cannon. There's a little post there. Just stick it in there. And you can put the blast effect, looks like in the center. Yeah, the center hole. But I think the regular blast effects will fit in the smaller hole, but it only comes with the one. And the Proton Cannon just sits like that. So if you want to have Warmachine or Iron Man firing the Proton Cannon, it's sort of a supposed to be over the shoulder, and of course that's where we're gonna have the issue. Guess you could turn Warmachine's guns like that. They do not have any diagram showing him with the Proton Cannon, you know, actually using it. But it's supposed to sit you know, the figure, when he's shooting it in the game, he's not really down on his knee though, but he's really low underneath the gun. I don't know, I feel like you need a bigger stand because it's it's not working out. And I don't think it's not working out just because I've got these guns on his shoulders. Proton Cannon. But it definitely can't really stand too well with it on him. And it's just a prop. There's no actual connector. This is where his shoulder would be, but you know, it's pretty low to the ground. And maybe the modular Iron Man or War Machine is the way to go. Or maybe you just create the illusion of it being there. I don't know. You can probably tell I haven't watched any videos about this. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. I'm probably gonna have to work on it, maybe show it again in some future videos, but theoretically it's supposed to be on his shoulder, and it just kind of sits there. But the stand is supposed to be so that he can just kind of be under it, and it looked like he's shooting a proton cannon because it's like on his shoulder. So even on his knees, it's still not exactly sitting there, and he's definitely not on his knees in the game. So I don't know. We'll have to work with it. But hey, you know, I paid $10 for it, and honestly, it's probably more my unwillingness to scratch up my newly opened War Machine. But still glad I got it. It's a great prop, and it'll get some use for sure. So with all that done, I'm gonna move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on Iron Man Retro Card War Machine and Iron Man Retro Card Proton Cannon. I really like the figure for sure. War Machine. You know, definitely gotta have him, especially if I'm gonna have all these Iron Mans anyway. Iron Man is probably like the #1 guy in my Marvel Legends collection right now. No, he's not my favorite character, but you know, it's so easy, so toyetic to have a bunch of Iron Mans, a bunch of Spider-Mans, a bunch of Wolverines. But I think right now I'm gonna have to do a count, but I think Iron Man or Iron Man variants, I guess War Machine would count as an Iron Man. You know, they're ruling my Marvel Legends collection. I got more Iron Mans than anybody. Picked this one up, you know, on a deep discount, but I'm really glad to have him. I'm gonna give him an 8. As for the Proton Cannon, it looks really good. And perhaps my poor posing is the issue, but it's not all that easy to make it look like it belongs to him. And even if it was just an Iron Man figure without these cannons on here, on his neck or on his shoulders, I still don't see it necessarily working out all that great. But, you know, it's a great prop from a great game, and I'm still happy to have it. So, you know, collectively, I'm not going to grade it. I'm not going to grade the Proton Cannon. It's not really an action figure. It's an accessory. So, there you go. 8 for War Machine. I like the Proton Cannon. I'll have to work with it to see if we can get a little bit better posability with it. So that's going to do it for this one. I do have one last thing to announce here, and I've been saying I'm going to do it in various videos, and I am going to do it, and that is the announcement of the 500 subscriber giveaway. And what that's going to entail is this Marvel 80th anniversary, 80 years of Marvel Uncanny X-Force, X-Men, Deadpool. So I picked it up on Hasbro Pulse. That's where I got it. Didn't do anything special to get it. I just pre-ordered it, got it. So I got the Deadpool from the Deadpool and Bob. That's going to be my Deadpool in my collection. Really don't need another one. So I'm not going to keep this Deadpool. I decided it'd be a great gift for the 500th subscriber. So this is the announcement, and I know I'm running out of time because, you know, we're getting pretty close to 500. So I wanted to hurry up and announce this. But I'm going to have all the official contest rules and everything like that up by this weekend. By the 14th, I'll have the contest rules and everything all worked out. Whoever's ever the 500th subscriber, they're going to get this Deadpool. And I'll mail it to you, whatever. You know, that's how it's going to work. So, official contest rules will be up. I'll have it in the community section of my page, of the channel page. And there you go. Let's do it. And of course, you know, when we get to 1,000, I'll have another gift for somebody. Just my way of showing my appreciation for all the subscribers. Appreciate everybody. Everybody's been very kind to subscribe. This is, you know, working out. So let's give back a little bit. So there you go. I'm gonna cut it off there. Definitely starting to ramble. So until next time, everybody stay safe. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.